A teenage boy and girl end up stranded alone on a deserted island. At the beginning of the story, Em and Dean are getting ready to go to school like usual. Emmy is one of the most popular girls in school, while Dean is more of a loner who tends to keep to himself. When Emmy's mom is driving her and her little sister to school, they almost crash into Dean's pickup truck. At school, Emmy meets her best friend Lizzie, who is eager to set her up with a popular guy named Stephen Sullivan. Their teacher, Mr. Christensen, announces that the students will be going on a field trip to Trinidad the next day, and the whole class gets excited about the trip. However, Emmy can't help but focus more on Dean, the rebellious bad boy. Her friends warn her that even though Dean is handsome, he's been expelled from multiple schools and has a bad reputation with strange behavior. Dean, on the other hand, doesn't really want to go on the trip or spend time with others, but his wealthy father has already arranged everything. Eventually, the students arrive at the beautiful island and the girls enjoy their time by the pool having fun together. Meanwhile, Dean is bored and keeps to himself, but when he sees Emmy swimming in the pool, he starts to take an interest in her. That evening, there's an illegal boat party, and the handsome football player Stephen Sullivan invites Emmy to join. She agrees to go. At the party, all the students are having a great time, but Emmy suddenly sees Stephen kissing another girl, which hurts her feelings. Dean notices this and laughs at the situation. At that moment, the police arrive to inspect the boat, putting all the students in trouble. Suddenly, the boat shakes violently, causing Emmy to fall into the water. No one notices, except Dean, who immediately jumps in after her. In the darkness, they climb onto a small lifeboat, and to avoid getting into trouble with the police, Dean cuts the rope and lets the boat drift away. Soon, lightning flashes across the sky and heavy rain pours down, leaving the two of them stranded on a small boat in the Caribbean Sea. The next morning, the trip is cut short and the students are scolded before being sent back home. That's when Emmy's friends realize she's missing, and during the head count, they discover that Dean is missing too. Meanwhile, after drifting all night without seeing land, Emmy and Dean wake up on the boat. Dean's phone is ruined from the water, but Emmy had carefully protected hers in plastic. She also brought a bottle of fresh water. Soon after, Emmy spots an island in the distance, and Dean grabs the only paddle to steer toward it. Back at school, the police question Lizzie about Emmy's disappearance. Everyone assumes she ran away with Dean, but Lizzie insists that's not like Emmy and believes something must have happened. A few hours later, Emmy and Dean reach the island, and a large wave carries them onto the shore. With no phone signal, they begin exploring the island. Dean finds a flare gun in the boat and takes it with him. Meanwhile, their parents are called to the school and informed about their disappearance. They immediately plan to fly to Trinidad to search for them. In the jungle, Emmy finds colorful fruits, but Dean warns her they could be poisonous. At the center of the island, they discover a beautiful waterfall. Dean suggests taking a photo to remember the moment, but Emmy just wants to find a hotel. After hours of walking, they reach the edge of the island, but there's no hotel, no roads, and no signs of civilization. They come across a cave to take shelter. When Dean lights a match, a swarm of bats flies out, scaring them so much that they jump into the water. Back on the beach, they realize their boat has drifted away with the tide. Now, all they can do is wait for help. But by evening, no rescue team arrives. Dean acts like a gentleman and gives Emmy the only life jacket to use as a pillow. Emmy remembers she has some snacks in her bag, and the two share a small romantic dinner by the sea. When she gets cold, Dean gives her his shirt. As they fall asleep, they hear rustling sounds coming from the bushes. The next morning, Emmy wakes up early and writes SOS on the sand. Let's pause here for a second. SOS. 3 short, 3 long, 3 short. It's the universal call for help. She asks Dean to fetch water, but instead he goes swimming first. While Emmy is worried and serious, Dine remains carefree. Meanwhile, their parents arrive in Trinidad, and Mr. Christensen informs them that a lifeboat from the ship is missing. Although the police are searching the area, the parents decide to hire private rescue teams as well. Emma goes alone to fetch water from a stream, frightened by every sound in the bushes. Dean builds a shelter to protect them from the rain. When Emma injures her fingers while helping, Dean carefully treats her wounds, and they begin to trust each other more. For food, they drink coconut water and eat coconuts and bananas. Dean becomes increasingly attracted to Emmy. However, his poorly built shelter collapses. But with Emmy's help, they manage to build a better one. Even though rescue teams are searching for them, the two start to enjoy their life on the island. As days pass, one night Dean accidentally hugs Emmy while sleeping, but she doesn't get upset. The next day, Emmy bathes under the waterfall but feels uncomfortable because of Dean's presence. Still, she asks him to keep watch in case someone is nearby. Their story appears on the news, but hope of finding them alive begins to fade. Eventually, the police call off the search, but their parents refuse to give up. Dean's father even hires a helicopter to continue searching. Meanwhile, Emmy waits every day, hoping to be rescued. One day, they found what appeared to be a human skeleton on the beach, but Dean believes they have a better chance of surviving if they stay together. He kisses Emma, and she doesn't resist. She kisses him back. That evening, as they sit by the fire, Emma suddenly starts crying. Lost in their romance, she had almost forgotten that they were stranded on a deserted island. Being with Dean made everything feel normal. The next morning, she can't find Dean and runs into the jungle searching for him. She finds him trying to bury a dead body, and she gets angry because he didn't tell her. In frustration, Dean says they're not lovers. They're just two people stuck on an island. Those words hurt Emmy deeply. But when she slips and falls, Dean worries and tends to her injured knee. He apologizes and explains that he couldn't attend his mother's funeral, so burying the body was his way of coping with his grief. They grow closer and trust each other more. While swimming, Dean tells her about his past, how he distracted his mother while she was driving, causing a fatal accident. He woke up in the hospital days later, but his mother was gone. Emmy reassures him that it wasn't his fault, helping him finally forgive himself. Later, he invites her to dance in the rain and gives her a flower. Emmy responds with a kiss. After a month, the official search is called off, leaving only their parents holding on to hope. Dean's father, remembering how he nearly lost everything after his wife's death, suggests it might be time to stop searching. Soon after, Emmy's mother returns home to take care of her younger daughter. Meanwhile, Emmy and Dean are on the beach, experiencing true happiness for the first time, free from school, rules, and responsibilities. But Emmy realizes they need to find a way back. Dean admits he used to watch her at school and thought she was boring, but on the island she became her true self. He too has changed and begun to express his real feelings. Deep down, both of them are happy being there together. One day, while picking flowers for Emmy, Dean hears a helicopter. He runs for the flare gun but is too late, and it's missing. He suspects Emmy took it, but her belongings are missing too. They argue and Emmy walks away, but there's nowhere to go. The tide washes away their SOS sign, destroying their last hope. Later, Dean hears something in the bushes and encounters a black panther. He tries to run but trips, and the animal attacks him. When Emmy arrives, she finds Dean holding a knife over the dead animal. She carefully cleans his wounds under the waterfall. They continue building their life, learning how to survive and protect themselves. Meanwhile, their parents still wait, hoping for their safe return. One day, while resting, a shell falls on Emmy. It's a monkey that steals things. The monkey is holding the flare gun, and Emmy trades a banana to get it back. Finally, they regain hope, and she fires the flare into the sky. Emmy insists they can't stay there forever, but Dean doesn't want to lose this life. She reminds him this isn't about living, it's about surviving. Soon after, they hear a helicopter again, and Emmy fires the last flare. This time, they are seen and rescued. Back home, the news broadcasts their story. Their parents can hardly believe their eyes, and Dean is happy to see his father. But in the crowd, Emmy and Dean get separated. They return to their separate lives as if nothing happened. That night, Dean sneaks to Em's window, saying how strange it feels to be back. Emmy invites him to her celebration party, but when he leans in to kiss her, she pulls away, afraid her parents might find out. At the party, Dean stays quiet while Emmy is surrounded by friends. She becomes even more popular and seems to have forgotten their island romance. At school, they ignore each other, and her friends push her to go to prom with Stephen Sullivan. Meanwhile, Dean gets into trouble with teachers again. Her sister Stacy complains that Emmy gets all the attention, but in truth, Emmy has changed since the island. Instead of going with a popular guy, she brings her sister to prom. When Stacy leaves with a boy, Emmy is left alone. Dean doesn't even want to attend prom, but his father pushes him to go. Then, Emmy sees Dean standing alone in the rain. Without hesitation, she runs into his arms. In the end, they dance together in the rain, just like they were alone on the island again. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you all for watching the Chill Recaps channel.